I've been in Utah for the winter, but I do keep up with Connecticut legislation. And here are two recent legislative proposals that are bad. Neither has passed the assembly, fortunately, but beware of this one. From the Banking Committee, which is Democrat controlled, and voted unanimously to pass a bill lowering the interest rate for delinquent property taxes. This was opposed by the Connecticut Councils of Municipalities, as it should be, because what delinquency does is steal from other people. Okay? Those who choose not to pay their property taxes are letting everybody else pay for them. Now, even with a low interest rate, they're getting a low interest loan for no good reason. It's not as if we are coming down on hard-pressed individuals, okay? Most delinquent property tax holders are actually wealthy apartment owners. They are well-to-do, and maybe they have a small setback that if they mortgaged their property, they could pay. If they sold some other asset, they could pay. If they choose not to, they should be subject to the municipality's fine. Otherwise, the town is losing out. And Hartford is one town in particular that loses out greatly. So if you see SB 180 rear its head, please oppose it as a citizen, and please oppose the Democrats who are behind it. They may have some feel-good reason for hard-pressed people, but that's where things could still be worked out, not by forced legislation that doesn't even allow municipalities to work things out. By the way, it's never a sudden shock to be paying one's property taxes. Property taxes are due at least 6 months in advance, so any responsible property owner can plan. Owners can work things out. And if they can't afford the property long term, they should probably sell the property and get something smaller, more affordable. Don't make legislation that keeps people in properties they can't afford while squandering the funds of municipalities. Okay, here's number 2. A bill that would require landlords to have cause to evict certain tenants passed the Housing Committee recently. Now, this bill sounds well-meaning. Oh, you can't evict people. But remember, people who stay in homes beyond their willingness to pay are stealing. And this bill lets the thieves continue the practice. They're trying to make it hard for landlords to evict somebody who's disabled, or caring for somebody who's disabled, or simply caring for somebody who is over 62 years old, possibly working and very healthy. Here again is legislation when individual workouts are the better policy. Legislation is a blunt substitute that Democrats like to use because they kind of like forcefulness and it gives them more power. Less legislation allows circumstances to work things out. Caring landlords, and I think most are ones who, when they see a temporary problem that can be fixed, let the tenant go a couple months. Pay me back when you can. We understand there's a payment, a tax refund coming for you soon. We understand you're out of work for a couple months, but you have the ability to earn. You'll get back on later. Fine. Don't let legislation stifle that workout that landlord and tenant are eminently capable of. Now, here's who it really hurts. This kind of law, if passed as law, keep landlords from taking on disabled people in the first place, or elderly people in the first place. Because if I'm a landlord and this bill passes, then why would I open my home to somebody who now could take advantage of this bad legislation and stay in the home without paying? I don't want to rent to that person in the first place. And that puts the very needy people at times on the outs from the very get-go. That is bad legislation. Please stop legislating in ways that hurt people. And that probably means reduce legislating in the first place, because we, landlords and tenants, are eminently capable of working things for a mutual win-win. When government gets in the way, and that's especially done by Democrat politicians who like to get in the way, the result is much worse. I'm Mark Stewart.